I am Sammy, your devoted manga otaku, and welcome to my manga space. Today, I am hauling all the manga I got for my birthday, as well as some random pre-orders and volumes, because I am currently drowning in unhauled manga right now, and I've got to get some of these books on my shelves. Also, if I sound a little froggy, it's because I'm currently recovering from a cold. It's why I haven't released this video sooner. I'm just crossing my fingers that my voice doesn't give out halfway through the video, but I do feel better today, so fingers crossed. Lastly, I just wanted to take a second to quickly say thank you to all of you wonderful people. My channel has been growing steadily, and I feel like I haven't really acknowledged all of the love and support in a while. This channel and community bring me so much joy, and I'm currently organizing a giveaway in order to give back and show my gratitude to you folks. I haven't set a date yet, but I wanted to let you know that it is in the works. And now I invite you to grab a coffee or other beverage of your choice, and let's haul some manga. The first thing that we're hauling today is all of the manga that my family gifted me for my birthday, starting with Hi, I'm a Witch and my crush wants me to make a love potion. And this is by Yamada with the original story by Eiko Mutsuhana and character design by Vient. And this is published by Yen Press and it is rated teen. This lovely volume is from my daughter Quinn, and she said that she picked this out for me because she thought that I'd love the cover, which I do. The art style is very cute, and I really like this main character's pink hair. Outside of what the title clearly states, I'm not really sure what this is about, but I think that the concept of the story sounds sweet and entertaining, and I saw it receiving decent reviews on Instagram when it first came out. I've noticed that I own a couple series with Witch in the title, Witch Hat Atelier, Daily Report About My Witch Senpai. Also, I've heard really good things about the series The Witch and the Beast. I recently saw, I think it was Mika, talk about it in one of her wrap-ups, and she made it sound super interesting. So I might have to pick up a couple volumes and maybe do a witch-themed reading vlog in the new year. If you guys have any other witchy manga recommendations, please leave them in the comment section below. But yeah, super excited to add this to my collection. It sounds very sweet, and I haven't seen a release date for the second volume, but I assume it's going to be a short series. I guess we're gonna see. But thank you so much, Quinny. I love it, and I am very excited to read it. Up next, we have volumes 1 and 2 of The Case Files of Jeweler Richard, story by Mika Akatsuki, and art by Nanako Tsujimura, and character design by Utako Yukihiro? I think I might have mispronounced that. This is published by 7 Seas, and it is rated 13+. Ooh, my nails match the gems on the cover. So I received the first volume of this series from my son Xander. He told me that he wanted me to read it to him, which is why I decided to also buy the second volume. After saying that though, I will read these ahead of time just to make sure it is appropriate for his age, because it is rated 13+. Now, the story follows the relationship between a British jewelry expert named Richard and a Japanese college student who end up solving a mystery together and become partners in the process. I've seen this series in a few people's wrap-ups, and the reviews have been fairly positive. I've heard that this series has Sherlock Holmes vibes, which I'm all for. I love a good mystery, and I adore a good bromance. Furthermore, I heard that the story focuses on gemstones, which really interests me, and I look forward to learning more about jewelry in general. I expect that this is going to be a fun little series, and I'm really excited to dive into it. I love the art style. I think the covers are adorable. Thank you, Xander. I love it. So this next gift isn't actually a manga. It's a graphic novel that was adapted from a webtoon comic, and that is Lore Olympus, and this is by Rachel Smythe. This is published by Del Rey, and it is rated, I'm not entirely sure what it's rated, but it does say in the beginning, Lore Olympus regularly deals with themes of physical and mental abuse, sexual trauma, and toxic relationships. So I'm assuming that this is probably rated either 16 plus or 18 plus. If I find the actual rating, I will just pop it on the screen. I first saw this series when I was bookstore shopping over the summer, and I fell in love with the artwork and the overall premise of this story. I adore Greek mythology and even took a Greek mythology class in university, so when I heard that this was a modern retelling of the relationship between the Greek gods Hades and Persephone, I was sold. But I wanted to collect these exquisite hardcover editions, and they were quite expensive. So I waited and asked my husband for volume 1 for my birthday. And because he is amazing and he loves me, he also surprised me with volume 2. For those unfamiliar with the original Hades and Persephone myth, Hades is the god of the underworld, and he fell in love with the goddess Persephone, who was the daughter of Demeter, the goddess of harvest. Hades ends up abducting Persephone and brings her to the underworld, where she becomes his queen. The myth is associated with the changing seasons and the endless cycle of death and rebirth, as Persephone temporarily returns to Earth for parts of the year to visit her mother, bringing spring with her. And when she descends back to the underworld, that marks the start of the winter season. There are lots of different versions of the story, with some suggesting that Persephone loved Hades and went with him willingly, or she grew to love him in the underworld, sort of mirroring a Beauty and the Beast type story. But I'm very eager to read this contemporary retelling. I have very high expectations for this. The art is dramatic and it looks colorful. I'm just very excited to dive into this. I know that the 3rd volume came out recently, and I did see a release date for volume 4. I'm not sure how long this series will go, but I'm excited to jump into it and let you guys know what I think. This next series is Ramen Wolf and Curry Tiger, and this is by Emboss. This is published by 7 Seas Entertainment, and it is rated 15 plus or older teen. So this book is a little emotional for me to talk about because it's my birthday present from Pumpkin. And I know it's silly because she didn't actually pick this out for me. She didn't actually buy this for me, but I would have read it and enjoyed it with her beside me. So yeah. But the manga itself looks really entertaining, and I love the cover. Ever since watching the first season of Beastars, I've gained a new appreciation for anthropomorphic worlds and characters, and a slice of life comedy about a chubby wolf helping his striped friend explore and relish in delicious food sounds really wholesome. Also, I feel like I might find this story relatable, as I'm someone who really enjoys sharing and experiencing good food among close friends. I saw the second volume was coming out soon. I don't know how many volumes are in this series. I'm not sure when I'll get to it. I might have to wait a little while for obvious reasons, but it looks very good. I'm super happy with all of the books that I got from my family. I've heard really wonderful things about all of these titles, and I'm really excited to read them and add them to my collection. I'm super grateful and lucky to have such a thoughtful and loving family. So thank you guys so much, and yeah, I really appreciate it. Okay, so now I'm gonna haul the manga that I treated myself for my birthday, and there's some really exciting stuff here. So the first thing that I want to open is a series that I have yet to unbox. So let's see what these books look like. I'm very eager to open these ones. And the first volume is volume 3 of Emma, and this is by Kaoru Mori. Oh, it looks beautiful. Look at the back. Oh, I have to open the other packages. Okay, let's open this one. Oh. And here we have volume 2. And that's the back. And I have one more to open. And then we have volume 1. Stunning. The amount of detail, it just boggles my mind. So, if you didn't know, Emma is by Kaoru Mori. This is published by Yen Press, and it is rated, actually I'm not sure what it's rated. I'm assuming it's rated teen. Yeah, I'm not sure what it's rated, but I will put the rating on the screen so that you guys can see it. Now, these are omnibus editions. You can see that. They're pretty thick. And there are 2 volumes to one of these editions. Now, when I first heard that Yen Press was reprinting this series, I was jumping for joy, because I never thought I'd ever, and I mean ever, thought I'd be able to own and collect Emma. It's pretty hard to find, and it's pretty expensive if you do find it. If you've been around for a while, you know that Mori Sensei's series A Bride Story, which is right here, it is one of my favorite seinen series. So being able to own another one of Mori Sensei's works is really special. Also, I'm a huge fan of Yen Press's hardcovers, and these books are no exception. These editions are beautiful, and I can't wait to see the last 2 volumes. I really hope that they're reprinted soon. When I was looking at the Right Stuff holiday sale, I did see that volume 4 was in stock, so I'll have to order that soon. Even though this series has been on my wish list for some time, I don't know much about the story, admittedly. I know it's a historical story set in England, and it follows the forbidden romance between a maid, which I'm assuming that's our main character, and an aristocrat. So I think that's him. I could be wrong though. I love a good taboo romance. It's one of my favorite tropes, so I'm very thrilled that this series is going to encompass that kind of story. I think. I'm pretty sure. As I said before, I love Mori Sensei's illustrations. Her artwork is elaborate, and if this is anything like a bride story, the setting has been meticulously researched, and I'm assuming that we're going to learn a lot about the life of a maid in this time period, which is really cool. I'm definitely looking forward to reading this series and adding these gorgeous volumes to my shelves. The last thing that I bought myself for my birthday is actually a box set, and it's something that I've wanted for a very, very, very long time, but I wasn't able to find it in stock or find it for a decent price until recently, and that is the box set of A Silent Voice, and this is by Yoshitoki Oima, and this is published by Kodansha, and it's rated 13 plus. So there are 7 volumes in the series. Just give you guys a little look at all of the different sides. I was going to buy the complete collector's editions, but I ended up opting out for the box set instead, and I'm really, really happy with my decision. Manga that I enjoy reading doesn't usually get box set releases, or I collect the singles before the box set is announced, so it's nice to have this beautiful collectible. And it also includes like a little tiny, I can't get it out with my nails, but it has like this little notebook, and I guess that this notebook is a replica of an actual notebook in the series. So that is very neat. I can't wait to look at that. I don't know much about the narrative, and I've purposefully stayed away from the popular film adaptation so that I could really enjoy the story blindly. All I know is that it's about a girl who's deaf and a boy who bullies her for it. I probably won't read this until I'm in a better place mentally. A consistent thing that I hear about this series is that it's extremely emotional and tear-jerking, so I will definitely have to prepare myself before checking this out. But yeah, love it. Super excited to get to it and see what all the hype is about, because this is one of the most talked about manga series, and I have no idea why. Finally, I own it. It's mine. And now I'm going to haul some pre-orders. They're not all pre-orders, but they're just some random things that I thought I would open. But this one is a pre-order. This is something that I've been waiting a while to open and read. And that is volume 4 of Sensei's Pious Live, and this is by Akane Torikai, and this is published by Kodansha, and it is rated 18 plus. I said Torikai, but it's Torikai. My finger was covering the eye. This josei title is not for the faint of heart. It's a disturbing and intense series that examines the psychological consequences of toxic masculinity, sexual violence, and emotional manipulation, and it explores the relationship between trauma, shame, and guilt. Its characters are complex and deeply flawed. because of their experiences. And while emotionally exhausting to read, I did find this series very gripping and thought-provoking. The art is viscerally expressive, and Torikai Sensei depicts abuse honestly and realistically, which is important, but also very unpleasant to experience. I've heard mixed reviews about the conclusion, and I'm very eager / terrified to find out what happens for myself. Also, I said before, this is rated 18 plus, so a warning for people who are sensitive to upsetting content. The manga discusses and depicts numerous triggering topics, including rape, blackmail, coercion, bullying, and body shaming. If you're unsure whether this is something that you'd be interested in, I share my spoiler-free thoughts on the first 3 books in a previous wrap-up. So I'll make sure to leave a card on the screen and link in the description if you want to check that out and get a little bit more information about the series before you decide to pick it up. And then we have Volume 4 of J.K. Haru is a Sex Worker in Another World, story by Hiratori and art by J.Ta Yamada. This is published by Ghost Ship, and it is definitely 18 plus or mature. This is a unconventional and, in my opinion, underrated isekai series about a high schooler named Haru who dies in an accident and finds herself transported to a fantasy world. Unfortunately, this new world is tremendously sexist and misogynistic, which leaves Haru with few options, and she ends up having to become a sex worker in order to survive. But despite her struggles, Haru is optimistic and remains hopeful that she'll be able to succeed in this extremely oppressive society. I've read the first 2 volumes of J.K. Haru, and I rated the first volume 4 stars, and then I rated the second volume 5 stars. The story is interesting, sex positive, and surprisingly thought-provoking, as it highlights and denounces the vile treatment of women in a patriarchal society. The art is super pretty, and I adore the main protagonist Haru. She's clever, cunning, and an overall endearing character that's worth rooting for. The series can be heartbreaking at times and includes heavy scenes of sexual violence, abuse, and discrimination, but thankfully, these darker parts of the story are balanced with humorous and entertaining moments. Also, it's worth noting that this manga has its fair share of nudity and soft-core sex scenes, which don't feel gratuitous, which was surprising, but instead they feel necessary to properly communicate the struggles of living as a sex worker. Volume 5 is set to release in March 2023. I've already pre-ordered it, but I'm not sure whether that's the final volume or not. The series is a light novel adaptation, and from my understanding, the second volume is equivalent to about halfway through the novel. So volume 5 could very well be the finale, but I'm not really sure. I am really excited to get back into this series. I don't feel like enough people are talking about it, so I'm really looking forward to reading and sharing my thoughts on volumes 3 and 4. I purposefully saved a couple volumes so that I could read them both at once, because after reading the second volume, I was really sad that I didn't have any more to read. So definitely looking forward to this one and letting you guys know what I think. And then we have volume 1 of the collector's edition Cardcaptor Sakura by Clamp. It's funny because this is actually my first Clamp manga. I've read a lot of Clamp. I read a lot of Clamp when I was a teenager, and it's not exactly my favorite, I did read a bit of Chobits and XXX Holic and Tsubasa, but Cardcaptors is definitely my favorite of their works. I believe this is published by Kodansha, and this is rated 13+. And yeah, as you can see, it is gorgeous. It is a beautiful edition. Now, I sort of bought this manga on a whim. I saw it in the bookstore and it was on sale, so I bought it. My daughter has been showing some interest in magical girls, particularly Sailor Moon, but when we tried reading it together, she told me that it was a little too scary, so I thought we would try Cardcaptors as it's aimed at a younger audience. I used to watch the anime when I was a kid, so I'm a little foggy on the details, but I'll never forget the kick-ass opening.
Each card possesses a power all its own. We've got to find them to bring the power home. Shadow, wood, sword, thunder, power, sleep. Card captors of the clouds that we unexpected now.
Card captors, a mystic adventure. Card captors, a quest for all time. Card captors. Card captors. Probably shouldn't have done that. Being sick. But, wow. The nostalgia. This is a series about a 10-year-old girl named Sakura who happens upon a magical book in her father's study, and it contains a collection of mystical cards called the Clow cards. With her latent magical abilities, Sakura unintentionally breaks the book's seal and unleashes the cards into the world. It's now her responsibility to find these powerful spirits and capture them in order to prevent disaster. I really like this edition. It's beautiful and the art is gorgeous. It also looks like I got like a little cute card inside, which is fun. I am a little sad that there aren't any other full colored pages. Yeah, unlike Sailor Moon, where you get like tons of full spreads, full color spreads. However, it's still a really pretty edition. I am really excited to see all of Sakura's elaborate costumes, and I remember loving the different designs of the Clow spirits. I'm really looking forward to reading this with my kiddos and seeing their reaction. And then we have volume 15 of Queen's Quality. This is by Kyousuke Motomi. This is published by Viz and is rated teen. Queen's Quality is a supernatural romance series following an orphan named Fumi. And Fumi works as a live-in housekeeper for her classmate Kyutaro, or Q, and his family. Q and his household are professional sweepers, which are individuals who specialize in protecting the doors of people's minds from negative energy and harmful spirits. And when Fumi shows promise as a sweeper, Q is tasked with training her. However, it's soon discovered that Fumi possesses the mysterious and formidable abilities of a queen, and she needs Q's help to learn to control these powers, as they could be used for evil. I really adore this series. It has a strong badass heroine, a downright adorable romance. It has unique supernatural elements and beautiful artwork, but to my shame, I haven't read past the 6th volume. I guess part of me finds it intimidating or daunting to get back into the series because it is so long and it is really dense. There is a lot of lore and characters to remember, and it's a fairly slow burn, but I'm worried if I don't catch up soon, I'm going to start forgetting what I've read. So I'm setting a goal for myself. I'm going to try to read the rest of this series before the end of the year. But yeah, I highly recommend this series. Like I said, from what I've read, it's great. I just have to read the rest of it. It's actually kind of funny that it is so hard for me to get back into Queen's Quality because I was recently diagnosed with inattentive ADHD, and I'm now realizing that some of my quirks, like having a hard time finishing manga series or getting back into a series after I've read some of it already, I'm realizing that I'm having those issues because I have inattentive ADHD. But I know that once I start reading it again, it'll be really easy, you know, to get through. But just taking that plunge and sitting down and starting reading, that's the difficult part. We'll see what happens. Okay, and we have one more manga to open. And that manga is Tsubaki-chou. Actually, I think it's pronounced Tsubaki-chou. Tsubaki-chou, Lonely Planet. This is volume 1 by Mika Yamamori. This is rated teen and it is published by Yen Press. Now, this manga was actually on my wish list of series that I would like translated into English, because when I was reading Yamamori Sensei's other series, Daytime Shooting Star, which I really enjoyed, and if you want to hear my thoughts on the series, I'll leave a card on the screen and link in the description. But when I was reading that series, I constantly saw people talking about Tsubaki-chou, Lonely Planet, and about how it deserves an English release. So when I heard the announcement that Yen Press was publishing this, I was just over the moon, and I pre-ordered it right away. This is an age gap rom-com about a girl named Fumi. Lots of Fumis today. And Fumi becomes homeless because of her father's debts, and she ends up taking a position as a live-in housekeeper for a famous reclusive novelist. I really like Yamamori Sensei's writing and art style, so I'm assuming I'm going to like this. I'm probably going to hold off reading this until I have a few more volumes. I'm not sure how many volumes are in this one. I know it's completed, but yeah, maybe I'll put it on the screen so that you guys can see. And yeah, that is my entire manga haul for the month of November. If you've read any of these titles, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also, a small reminder that if you're interested in supporting the channel, my affiliate links for Indigo and Right Stuff are listed below. Please consider using them when shopping, as it does benefit the channel and it facilitates more giveaways. If you're interested in watching more videos from me, you can check out my end card where I'll have links to my most recent videos. I hope you all have a manga-nificent day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!